Uh, Today is May 28th, 2025. I just wanted to kind of freestyle this video and talk about spiritual warfare and, staying strong and knowing that there's not really anything you can do about it but stay strong. What you got to realize is it gets crazier the more you level up. So don't ever let anyone tell you, oh, you just got to go to church and all this and it'll stop. You're probably doing Satan's work right there, because Satan is only attacking those that actually are going against him. And maybe these people that go to church, they don't know any better, but that's not gonna just end your gang stalking. You have to sign a deal with the devil or become a stalker yourself. And let's not fool ourselves. This goes on in churches, schools, goes on in police departments, within the FBI. I've seen cops in Tijuana deal with the gang stalking and make videos on it. Actually have straight up footage of how they're being stalked, and it's reminiscent of what goes on with me and others. There's also a lady, she's a lawyer, and she from LA, she gets stalked, and I followed her and actually saw her, funny thing, when I went to jury duty. But yeah, her story was just like anyone else's. You think a lawyer, most people think this only happens to people, that may have a little rough, but it actually happens to quite a few people. So, it doesn't matter. There's no let's see, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, let's just say they'll get anybody. There's no bias. There we go. There's no bias on who they will mess with. And like I said, the more you're shining, so just consider if it ramps up, you leveled up. You did something specific. Maybe you don't see it, or maybe you do, but you didn't see it as leveling up in the way that they might see it. And that the universe, or in your case, in some cases, the Most High sees it. So, and I'll just go ahead and briefly say that, when this all started happening with me was when I started meditating and, grounding myself barefoot in the grass and whatnot. And, yeah, got off the drugs and start watching spirituality videos. Went on a semen retention journey, and that's what it is. I'm going to fall off sometimes, I'm human. But the purpose of the journey is to get back on and off. Like when you go anywhere, your car might break down, but you're still on the journey, right? So yeah. But as soon as I did all that, I started noticing, I started trying to better myself in other ways too. I started going for runs and whatnot. And the very neighbors that introduced me to them, or introduced themselves to me when I was 8 or 10 years old when I moved here, they started acting really weird when I started running around the block. Like one neighbor actually put down a bunch of, saw me that I was running, and he does a lot of projects at home, but he actually puts a bunch of boxes on the sidewalk so I can't run. Well, I had to run and make a big, go out of my way, and it wasn't a big deal like how much I had to help. It wasn't that big of an obstacle, but you could tell in his expression and his mannerisms, it was to actually, it was to get at me for some reason, whatever it was. And then another neighbor, he introduced himself to me the day that I moved here in 1996. I'm 39 now, or 38. I'll be 39 in a couple months, but August 4th. But I took a run, and after that, one neighbor had put the boxes in my way, deliberately put the boxes in my way. The other neighbor saw me and decided to speed walk and cut me off, or attempt to cut me off. And he smokes a lot, and what he had was a thing of tobacco. He does chewing tobacco too, so he had a cup of spit, and he walks over and he just goes, yeah, and he just like throws it at me. I'm like, what the hell? Last time we were cool, you know, last time things were great, you know, like, I mean, I don't hang out over there or anything, but it was cordial, you know. And that's what it is. It's me trying to better myself, and people don't like that, you know. It's not just me, it's other people in the world. When you're trying to do better, you're gonna have, you know, envious, wandering eyes, and these spirits that get in these people and make them behave this way. Now, I can understand if, you know, jealousy is a trait, you know. I look at it like this. I see it as motivation when I see someone doing good. I don't get the whole jealousy, envy thing, because one thing is I'm not trying to outshine anybody here. I'm only trying to be a better me, and that's pretty much how it's been the last, you know, the last 7-10 years, you know. I mean, I always try to be the better me, but, you know, when I really buckled down, and that was obviously making changes, because like I said, once I got into meditation and the semen retention and the grounding in the grass and the yoga and all that, and it looked like I was consistent with it, that's when the attacks began. That's when neighbors would start to, like, you know, do these coughing noises just walking in the backyard, you know. And sometimes I would even think about the coughing before it would happen, you know. That was the weird part. Or I think about someone that revs up their car maybe, and they'll do it like as soon as I think about it, like almost like they're trying to trigger some kind of response. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I just wanted to make that quick short. It went a little longer than I expected. You know, I have to do this more often, but that's it for now. I'll be back later with another one.